in 10 seconds we will find winning moves like a pro. So let's enter into the part 1. So this is Checkmate City, and we are covering the magic formula to solve any puzzle and the tactics in the puzzle. So before every move, ask only three things, right? The first thing would be CCT, checks, captures, threats. And the second thing would be calculate 1 to 2 moves. And the third thing would be what is his weakness. So let's cover the three things, and we can be collaboratively learn these three things, and the sequence would be in the video further. So listen to the video carefully and don't skip any part, and you will miss the explanation about the three things, right? So let's dive into the first rule, which is CCT, checks, captures, and threats. So consider this position, right? It's black to move. Here the checks for white king would be queen a2 and queen a1. I think as a beginner, if you see this position, you can calculate the move in seconds because it's simple. You think queen a2, am I right? But there is this tricky knight which is hide behind this bishop. Knight takes a2. Yeah, in one move you completely lost the winning position. So just think before you play. So the checks would be queen a2 and queen a1. Then second thing, what are the captures in this position? c2 and b2. Knight takes c2 and bishop b2. These are the two captures, right? And what is the threat? The third thing, right? The complete explanation is CCT is checks, captures, and threats. So the third thing, threat, would be what is the threat for white king? There is a mate in 3, right? If you seize as an intermediate player, but the king is exposed and you need to checkmate with black, right? With these pieces, right? And as a white, he is going to checkmate you with rook h7 and king g8, rook g7 checkmate, right? If you play some other move like c4, it's mate in 2, rook h7, rook g7. So this is the threat which is in front of you, right? I have shown you the threat. So you're going to play the important things, right? You just formulate or get a formula, right? You need to play the forcing moves, like you need to play the checks, right? This is the formula we have driven from this position, right? If you play a simple move like developing move or a strategical move, you're going to capture this and going to checkmate this like this. As a beginner, are you going to, if he take this, I will keep the check here? You are thinking so many things, but I'm telling that he is going to checkmate you in two moves, simply two moves, right? So you need to play the forcing moves. This is the simple thing we found out from CCT, that is checks, captures, and threats. Rule number 2, which is what is the weakness in this position for white? His king is exposed. So you need to play the forcing moves which attacks his king. So let's calculate, right? What is the checks we have? Like we think that the checks would be queen a2 and queen a1. So I told you that this is the position where forcing moves to be played. So if we play queen a2, he takes, and simply the other check would not become, right? The second check is not possible. So queen a2 is blunder. So what if queen a1? You think a bit, right? Here comes the rule number 3, which is calculate 1 to 2 moves before playing the right move, right? We found out the weakness in the rule number 2 itself. His king is exposed. So from rule number 1, we found out that we are going to play the forcing moves. So the two things are found out from the two rules. So the third rule would be calculate 1 to 2 moves ahead of every move. So if you play queen a1, he will take. Then what can I do? Oh, I can take this, and he will play king a2 or king b1. That does not matter. I will take the queen. So I'm a piece up, right? If you think I just take, I'm a piece up. Then, buddy, you have a checkmate in 2. You does not seize it, I think. So I told you that you need to play the forcing moves. So right, queen a1. The forcing move would be king takes a1. So don't play, right? If you keep the position in the board and don't play and see, just calculate in the mind. If he takes, the next forcing move would be rook e8 or knight c2. If I play rook a8 and keep the check, he will play king b1, right? Then I need to play the other check, which is not possible with this knight and bishop. Then what can I do? If he takes, I play this, he will play again this. Then I need to play rook a1. Again he will take. Again I need to play rook a8. Again he will go king b1, and again I need to play rook a1, which is simply nasty because he takes, I play this, he will play this. If I sack, right? If I sack this rook, he will take. If I bring this rook, he will play this. I can't sack the second rook, which is completely lost. I have told you, right? If I give check, he will go here. If I give check, he will come here. Then no checks. So just calculate, and you need to calculate the right moves, right? So let's solve this collaboratively. He takes. So this rook a8 is impossible. So the next forcing would be knight c2. We completed. Next, what if he plays king b1 and king a2? Let's see. If you are a beginner or intermediate player, I think you found out the next move. So let's see. If he play king b1, then what is the check? If you play knight a3, he will go to king a2, or he will play the move king a1, or he can play the move queen takes a3, which we does not see. So we can think that I can bring the rook, sorry, I can bring the knight back. You cannot bring because you need to play the forcing move. So king b1 will be played. The next forcing move would be simple, yeah, rook b2, which is checkmate. So right, if king b1, then rook b2. What if king a2? The same, rook b2, checkmate. You sees it? Yeah, you take with the knight. If he plays somewhere, you just checkmate him. Yeah, this is the queen sacrifice, important thing you need to calculate, right? From the rule 1 CCT, we sees that what are the checks, what are the captures, and what are the threats. So from this we found out we are going to find the forcing moves. Rule number 2, find the weakness. We found that his king also weak and our king is also weak, so we need to play the forcing moves. So the king weakness is the outcome of the second rule. So we found out the king is weak. So the third move would be calculate 1 to 2 moves ahead of every move. So we calculate, we keep the check, which is the forcing move, and we keep the check, which is the forcing move, and we keep the check, and which is the checkmate. Right? We kept the 3 checks, and which become the checkmate. So simple. Yeah. Learn these 3 rules and calculate these repetitive analysis in every position, and you will get the answer day by day, month by month, year by year. So subscribe Checkmate City